Every day we have a choice to make. Are we going to view the world, our life, and circumstances through the lens of heaven or through the lens of hell? Every day we have the choice to decide what perspective we will see and how we're going to let it shape our lives. Psalm 61 verses 1 to 3 say, "Hear my cry, O God, listen to my prayer. From the end of the earth I call to you when my heart is faint. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I, for you have been my refuge, a strong tower against the enemy." Perspective is such an important thing in life. It can shape our opinions, our views, the choices we make, and even the course of our life. So we need to commonly ask ourselves, what perspective am I looking through? In other words, we need to ask ourselves, are we viewing our lives and our situations through this world's lens, or are we looking through God's lens? Because we only see a little part of the picture, but Jesus sees it all. Something I heard one time that I think's a really good thing to ask God is, what do you see that I'm not seeing? Ask Him to show you more of the big picture. Every day we have the choice to view our lives, our situations, problems, and everything in our lives from one of two perspectives. We can either view life through the lens of heaven, or we can view life through the lens of hell. We can constantly see the problem after problem. We can see the situation after situation that comes up in life. We can complain and become bitter over those things, or we can choose to trust in Jesus, to see the good in the bad, to see the beauty in the chaos, to see the light in the darkness. Because God is in the business of bringing the dead to life. He breathes new life into even the darkest of situations. He can do the same for us, but it's up to us to choose who we are going to listen to. Are we going to listen to the world, or are we going to listen to Jesus? When our emotions are running hot, when our hearts are heavy, and when it just doesn't make sense, are we going to give up, get angry, seek revenge, lose faith? Or are we going to trust that God has the final say, that He sees everything going on, and that He sees the whole picture? Are we going to give our burdens to Him and let Him guide us? We don't have to have all the answers. We don't have to understand why everything is happening the way it is. We don't even have to know what to do, because we can go to God, we can lean on Him, and we can trust in Him. He doesn't cause the evil things to happen in life, but if we will bring it to Him, if we will lean on Him, He will bring light out of that dark situation. He can bring joy and peace in the midst of your trials and hardship. The very thing that you are facing right now can become the door to your next blessing if you will surrender it to God. He wants to hear what's on your heart. He isn't scared of it. Even if it's anger, confusion, or heavy emotions, talk to Jesus about it. Pour out your heart to Him, the good and the ugly. He knows how you feel. And when we bring ourselves to Him, and when we lean on Him, He can give us His peace, which is beyond all understanding, and He can comfort us. When we learn to run to God in the midst of our trials, He can lead us to victory. He can bring us up and over that hill that we are facing and help us to see beyond ourselves and beyond our situations. He will give us His perspective. If we have God's perspective in life, on our situation, and in what we are facing, we will be able to see it for what it truly is, and not the thing that we tend to make it out to be. We will be able to see the good in the thing that seemed so bad. We will be able to see how Jesus will flip it on its head and use it for our own benefit. We will be able to see the deep love that He has for us and how He is taking care of us. And when we learn to come to God, when we learn to let Him comfort us and show us His love, it will become really hard for the things of this world or the things that we face to overwhelm us like they used to, because we have heaven's perspective, because we know we are dearly loved children of God, and that He is our fortress and our strong tower. Psalm 61 verses 4 to 5 say, "Let me dwell in your tent forever. Let me take refuge under the shelter of your wings. For you, O God, have heard my vows. You have given me the heritage of those who fear your name." When we learn to view ourselves, our lives, and our situations through the lens of heaven, when we see them how Jesus sees them, we won't want to go back. When we let God show us His perspective, and when we let Him show us who He says that we are, His dearly loved children who were made in His image to have a real and intimate relationship with Him, we will understand why we can trust Him, even when the world or our circumstances would say otherwise, because He truly cares about you. He loves you, and He has a plan and a purpose for you and for your life. Jesus is in us, and we are in Him. He is our refuge, and He is our protection. He is our home. It is when we learn to walk in our identity as a son or as a daughter of God, when we learn to walk in His love and in relationship with Him, that's when we learn to see things in their rightful perspectives. We learn to see the things that once caused us so much anxiety and so much stress as the distractions that they are. We learn to see the world and the things in it through the eyes of Jesus. And instead of being pulled away by them like we once would have been, we learn to abide in Jesus and trust in Him because He is good and faithful. We learn to live life with God and to ask Him, "What do you see that I'm not seeing?"